Hi people, Joseph here, and today I'm going to try to show you my way of doing unwrapping on a 3D model and why I find UVLayout to be the best program for this. Yes, so what I need to mention beforehand is if you keep all your polys on your model as quads, the tools for UVing will work so much better, so always try to keep your model quads. And here comes UVLayout. So I have this tab bar here for UVLayout, and you can install it. I will show you how. Just press run UVLayout, and if you press here about UVLayout, you can install Maya plugin, which is the thing I'm using. So yeah, and I always have my load option set to new, so when I send my mesh, which I will do now, it will create new UVs for me. So let's do that. And now we have the model in UVLayout. And the reason why I like UVLayout so much is you don't need to know many tools at all. You mainly just need to know some shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts, and you're fine. And I will show them to you now and explain them. So here's my model. It's a base mesh for a female, and I'm going to unwrap it. And as I have had every poly in quads, these tools in UVLayout would work fine. So for the start, I only use C and W for everything to cut up my model. So I will show you how. I can start with this right arm here and press C, and then I look around the area and I can see it has cut around it completely, and then I press enter to accept, and it goes apart. And now I continue with my cutting, and I want to cut here at the wrist level, so I will do that as such. And I just have my mouse over the edge, and then I press C to accept, and then I press enter to accept the cut. And now this part is almost finished. I just have to make the cut on the side. And you should always try to cut where your seams, which are these areas which you're opening, doesn't display as much. So for example, on the inside here, and on the inside here, and on the inside of the thighs. So now I've cut this arm open with only using C, and now I use another hotkey, which is V, to drop this model, and it disappears. And it will come back later, I will show you more. So now I continue with this hand, and once again I only use C. So let's do it. C, C, and C again. And C is the only hotkey I use for cutting. And UVLayout has some smart algorithms which figures everything out for me. But it's important to have everything as quads and a good topology, and UVLayout will do a great job. And now press enter to accept, and now this hand is completed. I press D and D again to drop these twos, and now I move on to the left arm. So I do the same procedure here. C, look as it's gone around, it has, press enter, go down to the wrist area, press C, C, and now here I did something wrong, so I just Control C to undo, and now I cut, and I cut. And now I want to show you the second most important hotkey of them all, and that is W. So if you don't like this cut here, you can press W to get rid of it. So C is cut and W is then weld or sew, or what you want to call it. But this is cut and this is weld. So, but I want this to go from this part to this part. So press enter, D again, D to drop it, and now it's time for the other hand. So I just press C, C. This is the thing I like with UVLayout. You only need a couple of hotkeys and you can do everything with them. So it's a very simple program to learn actually. And then press enter when it's completed, and D again. And now I move on to, yeah, let's do the head. So I press C here, wrong area, C, 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 press enter. Now I have the head. I can go on and drop the body now actually, to just have the head here, because I need to do some cutting. And now I press C again, C again, C again, enter to cut out the eye here. Move on to the other eye, press C, look to see everything with me, press enter, and I missed something there, so C and enter again, drop it, drop this one too with D and mouse over, and again C, 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 W there, C, C, and W there, enter, and enter again, enter, and enter again, drop, and drop. These are the only hotkeys I use. C, W, enter, D, and shift D later, and I will show you when. So now move over to the chin area here, cut, 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 and now it moved up all over the ear, and I don't want that, so I press W there, and C once again, and W once again, and here. So yeah, and C once more. Now I want this part here. Look that it has gone from one side to another, and now it went too far, so I can cut here and then weld them together. C, C, and now this part here, so C, and here I have to weld again, and C, and now I have to cut here. So I think I'm finished now, so just press enter, and enter, and enter, and now press drop, drop, and now it's time for this part, and I think I wanted to cut it, yeah, something like that. Should be the same on the other side, so it should be like here, press enter, and I will drop this back part and this front part. And now it's time for the mouth. And here I want the lips, so I'll press there. And here. And here. Yeah, so that looks about right. Oh, this part should not be with, so well there. Press enter. And now it's time for the inner lip, so I think it's this part I want. No, even more this part I want. So here's a tricky area, but I will find an opening. Yeah, and here. And here. And accept, enter. And I will drop the lips, and I will drop the inner part, and I will drop the face. So now I'm finished with a lot, but the body is still unfinished, but it's dropped as you can see here, so I will undrop it with Shift D and the mouse over the body. I'll press U now to go into this mode, and then I will press Shift D, and then I press U again to come back. or E, I'm sorry. E is edit mode, which I'm in right now to cut. U is the UVMap mode, which I drop to and drop away from back to my edit mode. So this one I shift D to drop back from the U mode. So I can get back the face by pressing shift D here and then go to E. You can see the face is back, but I will drop it to the UV mode again by pressing D. So let's continue. I will now cut here and here. Wait. I will cut here and here and here and here, I think. Yeah, it looks about right. And here, and I think let's watch. Yeah, something like that and that. And then press enter. It looks about right. And then I'll press C here. And then I will drop that part. And now I will work a little bit on the body. So I think I will just cut from here to here. And on the same on the other side, from there to there. Press enter. And I will drop that part too. Now it's time for the legs. So here we'll cut by the ankles. It looks good. And we'll do the same on the other side. Now press enter and enter. And I will move to the foot. And here we'll cut alongside this edge and in the toes, which is a tight area, but they were missed. So undo that and cut again, and cut here, and then I will cut here too. I missed. Cut there too. Cut here too. Cut there, and I missed. So, and then I'll cut there, and I think I'm finished. So press enter. Yeah, and it got loose, so now I can drop that one, and here I have to cut like that, and I will drop that one, and I will cut up this leg. I think I want to cut it here, something like that. Yeah, it looks good, I think. Yeah, looks good. I will drop that too. And now time for the other foot. So cut that and cut here. Now we cut on the other side. So it's like I use like cut 95% of the time in this program. It like does everything for me. And now I think I'm happy here. Press enter. It did not really get loose, I think. We can see that by trying to dropping it. And you saw the whole foot was going with there, so I have to go into U mode, find the foot. I think it's this one, and press Shift D, and then E again. So somewhere there is a little edge which I missed, and now I shall try and find it. Looks about right. Let's try. Yeah, here we have it. And here I have to weld again, so let's do that and press enter. Yeah. And now drop that and open the foot there. And drop that. Perfect. And now it's time for the leg here, so up along the side of the leg. And down there, I think so. Yeah. And I will drop this leg too. Now my model is unwrapped. So as you can see, I have tried to cut it along where you can't detect this as much. So here and here on the underside. So you can see. You should try to place these seams where you cannot find them or see them. So that looks alright. Now I go into U mode. So U is that, and E, I don't have anything. So now I have all my parts cut up here, and now I will use the second wave of hotkeys, and that is F and Shift F. So what F does is if I press on the model and press F, it will unwrap for me. But I like to use Shift F more. It's more like if you're imagining a blanket and you take the blanket in both sides and you whip it, and you want to stretch it, so you whip it in the air, and that's like Shift F. Look, and F is only like, this part didn't show it as much, but Shift F I use the most. So Shift F, this looks good. I move over to the hand, Shift F, and I wait now. I give it about, I don't know, 25 seconds. I want this part here to get loose. Perfect, and I want the finger to straighten up a bit. And I think I'm happy now, so I move over to this and do the same thing. Just wait. And this finger here should come up all the way. So in this mode, I use the hotkeys F to flatten and Shift F to flatten more aggressively, kind of. So I'm happy here, space. And I also use another hotkey sometimes, which is B, which is like massaging some parts. I will show that later. So, but Shift F, F, and space, of course, are the only hotkeys needed here. So, and here I got a little arrow, but we'll fix this later, no problem. But if we want, we could try it again with Shift F, and we could stop before that happens. We wait here, we wait here, we wait here. The finger is rising. It's already going wonky here, but there. And then we work with the hand. And give it some more seconds. And that looks about right. And now it's time for the face. That went quick. The ears, even quicker. The nostrils. Here it didn't make a good job, so I will show you the next set of hotkeys, and that is space and all your mouse keys. Keys. So space and middle click moves the mesh. Space and right click scales the mesh. Space and click rotates the mesh. So something like that. So here I have to cut it up some more, I can see. So we'll cut it up. You can also use cut here, as you can see. And I will try Shift F again, and this part I didn't want. Yeah, and I'll cut the same here. Shift F. I will try to make them even, so I'll cut up that one and that one. This looks good, and that looks awful. Oh, wait. That's kind of hard to see what. So I'm missing something here. I think I should cut this one up. No. Yes, that. Maybe something Yeah, something like something like that. Now I can get looking the same. Could add this part and this part. Yeah. I just used cut and weld, and the same here, Shift F, and the same here, Shift F, and the lips, Shift F, and the inside of the mouth. It looks alright, but I want it to be. You want to avoid as much red as you can. That looks a little bit better. I can even cut this one and this one up. See how that goes. Yeah, looks good. Another face. Freaky. Try it again. Try it again and stop in the middle. Yeah, that looks good. And here, this part. And now the body. And again. And stop. Now the foot. So, yeah. There's not so much to it actually. Now it's only repetition of the same old tools. And I will explain the tools again in. Yeah, and I said I used B sometimes, and B is like massaging some points. So for an example, if we have an area with red, we can massage them, but it doesn't work so much right now. And here's the leg. That looks good. And now the other foot. So for example, here now, I could massage this with B, as you can see, but it doesn't work very good. And that looks good. Now the other foot. And now that's finished. Now the other leg. Now that's finished. And now everything's unwrapped. And now I usually just pack my model. So pack. I just set this to best and 4K and rotate and pack all. You should be able to. Yeah, so now it's finished. I just press send to get it back to Maya. Now it's back to Maya. As you can see, if I go inside here, I have everything laid out. And I can use Maya's UV tools by going to polygons. Layout, I think. Yeah. So there are some problems areas which you have to find, for example here, and you have to move them manually. Like such. It's quite laggy actually. As soon as you get into Maya, it lags. Yeah. See. It's in smoothness or something. Why is it lagging? So let's try it again. Yeah. Now it works a bit better. So you can move these a little bit by hand. I won't clean it up too much, but there are problems areas, like for example here, and you just move them manually, these points. You don't want them overlapping like this. But yeah, I think UVLayout makes an excellent ground job for you, and it does it fast. So once again, in UVLayout, the only hotkeys I actually use are C for cutting, W for welding edges, Enter to accept cuts or welds, D to drop the part I have cut to my UV mode, kind of 2D UV mode, and Shift D to undrop them from the UV 2D mode. And then you also have F and Shift F for flattening, and also B for massage flattening, but I don't use that very much. And yeah, the control for navigating in this program are the same as in Maya. so that's why I didn't go through them, and that's all to it. I will also show you how you can go see this mesh. So if you export it now, for example here, we can export it to my desktop as test. So I will go into ZBrush, and in this program I will import my model. So C plugin FBX import. So inside ZBrush I can draw my model. Just change material, something like that. Yes. So here I have my model, and as you can see, it doesn't have any polygroups, but polygroups, and you can just press this outer group with UVs and you will get your points. And then you can just use hide, and group them again for like separate parts. I usually do this. And yeah, the hands too. So that one and this one. And then it's the same for that part and that part. And I just go through the whole model like this to get all the parts that are matching. And the upside of the foot, and that one too, visible. And I think that's the ears, too. More visible, and the eyes too. So many parts. Yeah, and the nostrils too. And I think that's it actually. So now I'm ready to sculpt, and I have a model with UVs. They are not perfect by no means, but I would work a little more in UVLayout, but this is a very good ground to work with. So my tips are always model your model with quads. And if you're uncertain if you have quads or not, you could always go into, let me add a non-quad here, for example, and here. So if you're unsure if you have areas that are not quad, you could always go into mesh, cleanup, and then you here press select matching polygons four-sided, and you press apply, and then you invert the selection by Control I, and it will select the parts which are not quads, which are these two now. I will undo that. But if you have your models in only quads, the Maya tools here, multicut, will work perfectly, as you can see, everywhere. And that's the same for UV tools, and it's the same for rigging tools, and it's the same for modeling tools. So working with only quads helps in many different parts. So it's not necessary to work in quads, of course, but it helps a great deal sometimes. So it's a good standard, maybe. Yeah, that's it for this one. Yeah. There's another little tool I forgot, and that is in UVLayout. If I go here, if you want to move a single point, you can press Control and right click, and you can move a single point in this program too. So for example, if you can find a problem area, maybe here, you can move these points pretty easy in this program too, as you can see. It's not responding very good now, thanks for me recording, but yeah. And now I could, if I wanted to, massage them a bit. Yeah, and it destroyed everything I worked with. Maybe if I do so, the massaging works a little better. Nah. But that's how you move a point. And there are more tools, of course, in UVLayout, and they have some excellent tutorials. If you press About and you press View User Guide, I think, you can find some very good information. Or you go to their homepage. And go to their homepage, and then you go here to Videos. They have like every tool you need to know about. They have in these sections here, so they have very good tutorials, which if you're having problems, follow them. So thank me for this time. Thank you for this time. Happy UWmapping.